You ever catch yourself scrolling late at night? Your phone light glowing in the dark like it owns you. You say just 5 minutes, but somehow an hour passes. You're comparing, liking, deleting, and as well reposting. But deep down, you start feeling you're not enough. You see other people smiling, traveling, looking good, living soft, and you think, why can't my life look like that? That's the mirror I want us to talk about today. The digital mirror. The one we all stare into every day. It doesn't just reflect your face. It reflects who you wish you were. Who to the world says you should be. And sometimes it reflects the pain we've learned to hide. This is the second episode of The Scars of Youth. And today we'll be talking about one Ezina O'Neill, a young woman from Australia who became famous just for being perfect. But it broke her when she realized that this thing called perfection is nothing but just a lie. In Colomb Beach, a small town in Queensland, Australia, where the ocean is blue, the sand is white, and life feels easy. That's where Ezina O'Neill grew up. She was born back on November 3rd in the year 1996. She was bright, artistic, but also curious. Her childhood was simple: surfing, friends, and sunshine. But like many of us, she wanted to be seen, really seen. At 14, she created her first Instagram account. No one knew this little app would change her life, but also break it. She began posting photos, smiling on the beach, laughing with friends, holding smoothie, and captioning things like, "Living my best life." People noticed over time. Why? She was beautiful, effortless, charming. The kind of girl who looked like she had it all figured out. Followers came first, thousands, then hundreds of thousands. By 16, she was famous, a teenage influencer before the world. Brands started offering her free clothes. Companies sent her products to pose with. She'll wear a dress, tag a brand, and boom, they'll pay her. To any young person, that sounded like a dream, right? Getting paid, looking good, just to smile, to live free. But what no one saw was how fake it was. She later said, "For that photo, I took over 100 times trying to make my stomach flat. I hadn't eaten a day." That wasn't confidence, was it? That was exhaustion. That wasn't freedom. That was pressure. Pressure wearing a smile. Ezina's followers were growing, but her peace was shrinking. Every notification was a hit of dopamine, a little validation, and soon she couldn't live without it. She was addicted, not to fame, no, but to be loved. Because the truth is, we all crave that. Of course, who doesn't? We all want someone to notice us, to say, "You're beautiful and you matter." But the problem is, when that love comes from strangers who only love the image, not the person, that's a challenge. And for Ezna, that's exactly what happened. By the time she turned 18, Ezna had over 600 followers across Instagram, YouTube, and all other social media platforms you can think about. She was a social media success story. She lived off-brand deals, flew to events, met other influencers. To the world, she had made it, but offline, she was new. She once confessed, "I wasn't living in a 3D world anymore. I was living in a system based on social approval, social status, and social expectation." That's deep, and that's real. Think about it for a second. How much of our youth today live in the same system? We post a photo and refresh every 10 seconds. We judge our happiness based on the speeds of likes. We edit our memories to fit an algorithm, and we call it connection. But behind that word, many of us are just lonely. For Ezna, the cracks started showing quietly. She'll look in the mirror and not recognize herself anymore. The more perfect her post became, the more imperfect she felt. She compared her body with other girls. She spent hours editing one photo, and when she wasn't offline, she just felt invisible. There is this powerful quote she once shared, and I quote, "I thought getting 1,000,000 followers will make me happy. It didn't. It made me empty." That was her quote. And I think every young person today can feel that. Even if we don't have 1,000,000 followers, because the hunger is the same: to be enough, to be loved, and to matter. In October 2015, something broke inside her. After 4 years of living in the digital spotlight, she realized she was done pretending. She was done pretending. She decided to delete over 2,000 photos from her Instagram. She renamed her page "Social Media is Not Real Life." And then she started rewriting the captions of her old pictures, revealing what was really going on behind the scene. Under a photo that looked carefree, she once wrote, "Stomach sucked in, took over 100 photos in a similar pose, trying to make my stomach look good." And another photo of her wearing a designer dress, she added, "Paid $400 to post this. Would have looked happy, but I remember being lonely that day." And then she posted on YouTube a video titled why I really am quitting on social media, or rather why I'm quitting on social media. In that video, she cried and she confessed, and I quote, "Everything I was doing was edited, contrived to get more views, to get more followers. It was not real." The internet went crazy. Some praised her for bravery, others called her dramatic. She was just chasing a different kind of attention. But the truth was, she was finally telling her story. She said, "I'm not against social media. I'm not against how people use it. I'm against how pretending that it is a real life." She built a website called Let's Become Game Changers, where she tried to start new conversation, one about authenticity, truth, healing. But she was still figuring out herself. After years of living for strangers, she didn't even know who she was without the likes. In a leaked email later, she wrote, "I felt alone, completely alone. I had no idea who I was without validation." Imagine that. You're famous, you're beautiful, admired, but you have no idea who you are. After the storm, she disappeared for a while. She went quiet. No new posts, no videos, no more spotlight. And maybe that wasn't the first real thing she will have done in years. Be silent. She went back home to the Colomb beach, reconnected with her families, began therapy, and started drawing again. She wrote about how hard it was to rediscover herself, and I quote, "When the world knows you as someone fake, it's hard to remember what's real." She tried new things: art, writing, volunteering. She started living smaller, slower life. No filters, no poses, just being real human. And even though she stayed mostly off grid, since then, her impact never left. Her story became a mirror of thousands of young people, a reminder that you can't build self-worth from a screen, and that sometimes the bravest thing you can do is log off. You know, Ezena's story might sound distant. An Australian influencer, a while away from us here in Kenya. But her pain is the same pain many of our youths carry quietly. How many of us have posted pictures of joy while crying inside? How many times have we deleted photos because they didn't get enough likes? How often do we measure our confidence by comments instead of character? This is what digital mirror does. It convinces us that validation equals love, that attention equals worth. But it's not true. Let me tell you something. You can't compare your behind the scenes with someone else's highlight reel, because most of what you see online is in truth its performance. And the tragedy is, the more we perform, the more we forget how to live. Social media isn't evil, it's just powerful. And if we don't handle it carefully, it starts handling us. So, what can we learn from Ezina's scars? First, disconnect to reconnect. Put your phone down sometimes. Sit in silence. Let your thoughts breathe. You'll be surprised how loud peace sounds when there is no screens in the way. Second, follow with intention. Ask yourself, does this account feed my soul or drain it? If it makes me feel small, you don't owe it your attention. That creates instead of compare. Use your platform to tell your truth, not to copy someone else's. Your story, even in its messiness, has value. And finally, remember that real love isn't found in comments. It's in laughter with friends, in walking without taking selfies, in sleeping without checking your phone. The digital mirror is powerful, but you're the one holding it. You can choose how you see yourself. Ezina's O'Neil story isn't about quitting social media. No, that's not my point. It's about reclaiming your soul from a system that profits off your insecurity. She was brave enough to break her own illusion. And that courage, that's what makes her story beautiful. So, if you're listening right now, maybe this is your moment too. Your moment to say, I'm done pretending. Your moment to start living, not performing. You are more than your photos. You are more than your metrics. You are enough as you are, right there, right here, right now. This was episode 2, The Digital Mirror, when likes don't mean love. I am McKenna Brandon, and this is Scars of Youth, where we don't hide pain, we learn to heal through it. Next episode, we'll explore the scars of friendship, how betrayal and loyalty shapes us, and how to find trust again and when it becomes broken. Until then, stay real, stay soft, stay human. Thank you.